Wait, where am I? I seem to have walked into the... graveyard. I can't understand you. I can't understand a word this guy's saying. Luckily, I installed a Cockney Ghost translator on my Game Boy Advance. Almost got it. There. What? I'm only playing the latest installment of Bratz Rock Angels. Jeez.
There's not a single thing you know about it.
Yeah, that motherfucker's dead. Wait, he was already dead. Ooh, free games. But I can't believe I just murdered and mugged a Cockney Ghost. That's at least 8,000 years bad luck. Oh, nice. 2 copies of Shadowgate. Oh well. Alright, so today I'm taking a look at Shadowgate. Shadowgate originally came out in '87 for the Macintosh. Like all games on the old Macintosh, it was black and white. Playing it now, it honestly looks pretty rough, and there's no music. I mean, to put things in perspective, the same year this game came out, the first Zelda game came out. Also, what is this interface? I know it's the first Shadowgate and I should give it a break, but
What do you think, Larry? Eh? What do you mean, eh? Eh.
Well, fortunately the game has been remade quite a few times. It's been put on many platforms such as the Amiga, NES, Game Boy Color, and more. The NES and Game Boy Color ones are the ones you want to play as they vastly improved the graphics and even added in a legendary soundtrack. In this game you find yourself in the world of Tyragon. Atop Gatekeeper Mountain lies the living castle of Shadowgate. There's a group of wizards that are known as the Circle of the 12 that regularly meet there. One day one of the wizards turns against the group and becomes a warlock lord and causes all kind of conflict and war in the land. Anyway, he ends up getting sealed beneath Castle Shadowgate by the wizard Lockmere. The warlock lord eventually breaks free years later and then threatens to raise a behemoth from the depths of hell to help him take over the world. Lockmere then chooses a hero and warps him to the entrance of Shadowgate, where he must find and defeat the warlock lord. That's pretty much the gist of the story. So yeah, what you gotta do is navigate your way around Castle Shadowgate by moving room to room and solving various puzzles. The only problem with this game is that it's Da Vinci Code levels of cryptic. I mean, here's a perfect example. At the very start of the game, you open the first door, go in, you try to open 2 doors, and then you can't. Less than 30 seconds in, and I'm stuck. Okay, so I go outside, and there's only a door. I examine it, go back inside, examine everything again. Now, there's just one of 2 things you need to beat this game. One is a PhD in cryptography, and the other is a game guide. Alright, so I go online, look it up, and it's the skull. You know the skull that blends into the door? You know the skull which I examined and it gave me this incredibly helpful clue? Alright, inside that skull is a key, and that key opens the main door in the first room. Alright, so that's not cryptic enough for you? Alright, here you go. Alright, so there's this creepy skeleton across the water holding a key. How do you get to this key? Alright, I'll tell you. There's this room where there's a waterfall thing. You gotta slip through the tiny seam in the waterfall. You know the seam you can barely see? Yeah, that one. Inside that cave is a big stupid rock on a wall. I attack it with a broom, nothing. I fling smaller rocks at it, nothing. You actually have to smash it with your fist. It opens and you find a bag of gems. Now what? You go into another room, shove a white gem into a wall, a purple orb appears. You chuck this purple orb into the water, it freezes the water, and then you can finally get the key from the skeleton. All of this for 1 key.
Ooh, my brain.
Maybe I'm just fully retarded, but I could find absolutely no clues indicating any of these things. To add an extra level of stress, your torches are always going out. So yeah, everything has to be done super specifically, and you may even contract a bit of Alzheimer's. Now, from what I've said about this game, you might think I think this game sucks, but it's actually the opposite. Despite the cluster headaches, I consider it to be one of my all-time favorite NES games. There were even times where I figured stuff out without a guide, and it made me feel really triumphant. What keeps me coming back to this game mainly is the intoxicating atmosphere of Castle Shadowgate. Every room feels alive, and no two rooms feel alike. Sometimes I just play the game to aimlessly wander around the castle. The controls are a little strange though. Sometimes it's hard to align your cursor with an object, but you do get used to it. Shadowgate is known for its iconic and creative deaths. Some deaths are full on, and some are actually pretty funny. There's just so much fun in discovering all these unique ways that you can end your life. Castle Shadowgate mostly feels empty, but from time to time you'll bump into strange, memorable monsters that all seem to dislike you immediately. Right, so that's Shadowgate for you, an overlooked NES classic. Now, despite there being tons and tons of versions of this same game, there were actually two completely original Shadowgate games that came out later. There was one for the TurboGrafx CD named Beyond Shadowgate, which I haven't played, but honestly, it kind of gives me Zelda CDI energy. I know I'm most likely wrong about this.
I guard this castle entrance, and you may not pass.
Do you know what it means when you lose your last ruby?
Well, maybe not. Also, where's the first-person perspective? This doesn't really look much like Shadowgate to me. I'll give this a miss for now. Hopefully one day it gets a re-release on PC. 6 years later would come the last original Shadowgate game, and it would be the series' first and only jump into 3D. Stick around.